that play that symbolizes it. And Parcells said it made him so sick he got out of coaching. He went and took a Miami gig as a GM eventually. Yeah. But Tony didn't fumble the snap. He fumbled the hold, and then in classic Tony style, he was so damn athletic, he almost grabbed it and ran in, and then it was Justin, there was a defensive back for the Seahawks that literally grabbed his toe. Otherwise, Romo would have moved it in, but I thought it was so emblematic of Tony's career. Wild, ad-libbed, almost, really close, hold your breath. That was always Tony Romo's career. Underrated, all his games were fun, kind of off the cuff. If Brady is all about details, pre-snap, almost mechanical, Tony's the opposite. Tony's sort of like, I got about 6 plays I run, and some of this is just going to be by the gut. Yeah. And that's how he played. And that, to me, that play is classic Tony. He drove him down the field. He got him in position to win. And then he fumbles the snap, yet still so talented. Almost takes that and runs in.
He kind of had a little case of the yips in there because it was a good snap. But then when you have this drill, which I was watching, and this is a Parcell ran team, so there's a lot of, I'm into that because of Bill. And I'm sitting there. He didn't call fire soon enough. So when you watch Tony Romo, fire, if something goes down, you call the fire call. You got the two wings are hitting the flag routes. You got a guy hitting the flat. So like he almost yipped it a little bit. He got surprised that he dropped the snap, and then like that was like a second off. So I feel like it was too big of a moment.
They weren't quite prepared for the moment.
They weren't prepared for the moment.
And that always felt a little bit, not a shot at Tony, that he was like Favre. Probably spent a little less time in the film room, but was so gifted he could win a lot of games regardless.
We were talking about it earlier. I mean, when you watch the play, he looked like he got a case of the yips.
Yeah.
Looks like he didn't call fire because I'm sure they have a fire play whenever there's a bodge snap. Like you practice this on Friday practices. Like, all right, guys, let's run the fire drill. And then for a second, I thought he was going to get in. When I remember watching this as a kid, I was like, he's going to run it in. I thought he was going to run it in.
Yeah, well, it is kind of your vintage Romo that he screws up and is so athletic, he almost makes the play of the year for the Cowboys. Yeah. That's so Tony.
He didn't even need the score. He just needed to get the first down, too. I think the real question here we were talking about earlier during our prep was, why was Tony Romo even still the holder at this point of the season?
This kind of revolutionized the game because this was the last time you really saw backup quarterbacks holding the field goals.
Well, plus analytics has moved. The PAT is now harder. Analytics have come in. So the traditional PAT just doesn't, it's so much has changed.
Yeah.
For just a simple play that used to be a go get a beer at the fridge play, like the short field goal, like the PAT now has drama. This is what they're doing to the kickoff rule.
Yeah.
The NFL figures out where, this is usually in my life, that's a 99% game-winning kick. That ends it. And so with that failure, it makes people reevaluate situationally what you're doing with a quarterback taking the snap.
Yeah.
Which is weird. You have all that, if you think about it, it's a precision play. You have all this energy. You're on cloud 9. You're probably the worst guy I want taking a snap.
100.
I want guy that is just like, come off the sidelines, ready to go. That's all I do. Tony's got a million things going through his head. He's tired. He's exhausted. Now he's got to get down to a special team situation in crappy weather. It's tougher than you think.
No, I was a backup holder. It's very tough. The holder and kicker, or the kicker, and now the punter usually holds for the field goal guy, or the field goal kicker. And those guys are practicing that operation all day long. Like, so they know how to snap it. The snapper knows how to snap it to where the laces are in the right area for the hand of the holder. Like, that's how precise it is nowadays. It's just, it's crazy to see a backup quarterback, or now your starting quarterback, even a quarterback holding it. And this wasn't even that far along.